what's up, everybody? This is Tim Hart, host of Rates and Reels and branch manager of Van Dyke Mortgage. Got a special treat. Got my boy Roger Lally here.
What's up, man?
buddy?
How you doing?
Good, you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me here.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Yeah. Roger, longtime friend of mine. All right, we've known each other since high school.
Since high school, yeah.
That was like 2010, right? High school?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. It was about 8 years ago.
Yeah. Or mid-90s,
Yeah.
whatever.
He's older, by the way.
Yeah, I got more gray too, dude. But anyways, guys, a friend of mine forever, he is running for House Rep in District 78, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
District 78.
So I wanted the chance for anyone watching out here that wants to get to know someone running in this race. I wanted to get to know you a little bit. So I thought this would be cool to, have you on and talk about your issues and stuff you're interested in.
Dude, I'm not shy to talk about myself. I can do that all day.
I know this. I know this. All right. So before we get into issues and stuff, I know a lot about you, but someone watching this may not.
Yeah.
So let's fill them in. What's your story here in Southwest Florida?
Okay. This goes back generations ago, Timmy.
Generations. This is like the beginning of a movie.
Generations. It was black and white back then.
This is definitely black and white.
Yeah. My family actually, they started, Boca Grande, Cayo Costa. Grandfather used to get boated, the boat bus, out to the end of Boquilla and Pine Island to go to school. Same as my father, all my uncles, they would go from Cayo Costa and get bused into Pine Island because they didn't have schools on Cayo Costa where they lived. So they'd take that boat every morning, take the boat back every day. I mean, can you imagine living on an island?
Yeah.
Cayo Costa, it's not like, it would have to be very buggy back then. But,
Yeah, that's all I think is mosquitoes. That's all I think about. But mosquitoes and no-see-ums.
But as a kid, man, that might be the life because mosquitoes really don't bother you when you're kids so much. But as an adult, I wouldn't last a day.
Yeah, mid-40s, I'm not hanging out there.
It'd be like one of those Naked and Afraid shows,
I'd run off the island so quick.
Yeah. That's where they started, and obviously made the transition onto the island and built a house out there. Pine Island, yeah. That's where I grew up, born in Lee Memorial Hospital in Fort Myers. Grew up on the water, family, all commercial fishermen. So, I know I always stress to you, that's one of the reasons that I'm running, is for water quality. So there's no one that's gonna have the background and the history that our family has, I think, ever to run a race. I mean, they can match it because there have been people living out there as long as we have, but they're never gonna beat it. So we grew up on the water, commercial fishermen. Once the commercial ban hit in '95, made the transition to pole fishing and using legal nets and cast nets and stuff like that to make a living, which our family's done a pretty good job of doing that. Shrimping, crabbing, things like that. So water quality is huge. Especially in our economy, it's huge. You have, a lot of the local fishermen. That's where a lot of our local seafood comes from. So if that's not on point, we're kind of screwing that whole side of the economy. Not to mention, jobs that rely on it.
Yep.
You have tourism that brings in a lot of money for the state of Florida. Fort Myers Beach. You have all the beaches, all the coastal cities that rely on that tourism coming in, and people move to Florida because of the beaches. They don't move because of the
Rib City.
Rib cities. Yeah, hey. I was going to say, they don't move here because of rib cities.
I knew it.
So he has known me for a long
Rib
time.
City.
He has known me for a long
Rib
time.
City.
But yeah, they move here for the water. They move here for the sunshine, the beaches, the fishing, and things like that. So it's our duty. We use these things every day. It's our job to take care of it. And we have to be responsible. And we have to get back on track with the water quality. So we need to send someone up there that has the history, that's going to fight for it and make sure that happens. And that's why I'm running. I told you before, all these things come out in the news. I'm trying to take my kids to the beach, take them fishing. You can't because red tide, the water, the algae blooms and things like that. And it frustrates you. And then, my wife, Kristen, has to hear it all the time. And finally, she
Hear it from you, you mean?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So, finally she told me, stop complaining and do something about it. I'm sick of hearing you complain, which we've all heard. That's what we do. We complain to our wives. Football team loses, we complain. There's not food in the fridge, we complain. It's not a joke.
Couldn't help yourself, could you?
I couldn't.
I'm not voting for you now.
was time to do something, and that's why I kind of stepped up and did it. So.
Yeah. Well, dude, credit to you, because so many people out there, and you see them, posting on Facebook, you stupid this and that, whatever. And like, no one ever throws their hat in the ring.
Yeah. Well, I was that guy for years, so.
Well, yeah, but you're here now. You're doing it. And one thing I know that like why people don't throw their hat in the ring is because they don't want to go through the process of running for a campaign, man. Because it's freaking dirty.
Yeah.
And they'll find something that you wrote in like an 8th grade yearbook.
Yeah.
Where you were cracking a joke with your buddy when you were 13 years old.
Yeah.
And they'll bring that out, and put it out in front of you. Hey, he said this.
Well, thank goodness I was a straight A student, never did anything. So,
yeah.
Me in high
don't
school.
be calling this video now. This is video.
Don't pull out my old report cards. We'll just say
Yeah,
that.
mine either. Well, I'm not running for office, though, so you can pull mine out. They're bad. My wife gets embarrassed by them all the time. Even my kids do. They get back.
Your kids are lucky for Stephanie. They have a good, smart.
100%. I married up so.
That makes up for it.
They're so lucky they got her. If they
here.
do bad on a test or something, they blame it on me. They're like, Dad, this is your DNA that did this. I'm like, you're right. Sorry. Brings me to another point, though. Like, I think it'd be kind of neat. Your first time ever running for office.
Yeah.
Like, how's that been for you? Like, what's your takeaway from it?
It's been, challenging, fun, which is an odd answer. I don't think fun is typically your answer that you get, but I really enjoy talking to people. Really enjoy, kind of putting my issues forward to see how many people out there agree with it. And as you know, and you've known me for a long time, I'm a staunch supporter of the Constitution and will do anything to protect it. The Second Amendment is absolutely, there's no negotiating on that. And I think in years past, we've had some attacks on that, trying to take a little bit chip by chip away from that. And we have to stand strong. We have to send someone to Tallahassee that's going to stand up for that. And that's what I tell the constituents out there on a daily basis. That's what I plan to do. And as you know, also, one of my other big topics is 100% pro-life. Not 99, not 99.9. You can, I've had debates. Well, what if this? What if this? It doesn't matter. It's the answer is never to kill another human being. So 100% pro-life. No one's going to ever change my mind on that. I'll have a debate with you. I'll sit and talk. I'll hear your view, and then I'll tell you why you're wrong. That's just my stance on it. And that's something that Tallahassee needs as well. All Floridians, all Americans. That needs to be pushed everywhere. Throughout the world. And I'm not just saying it. As you know, we did have a child that was born with Down syndrome, and we're actually approached by the doctor on, do we want to abort it? Basically encouraging us to. And
encouraging you.
Encouraging, yeah. So it was actually baby A, baby B, because they're twins. So baby A, healthy. Baby B, if we terminate baby B, it could hurt baby A. So, but the baby B does have Down syndrome, so you might want to consider, terminating that part of the pregnancy, which obviously my wife and I were appalled, and the answer was definitively no. And we have you've met him, beautiful boy named Finn. He's the light of our lives, as our other 4 children are, and wouldn't do it any different, Disability or not, there's never a reason to terminate a pregnancy, and I will 100% fight for that.
Cool. I would like to dig a little deeper on the Second Amendment thing.
Okay.
So, we're filming this, mid-June, right? And like you have protests, which I think all of us support anyone's right to legally protest.
Yeah.
Right? Part of being American, protest all you want. But then you have the other side of it that took off, which was the rioting and looting. Yeah. Right. So I consider those 2 separate events for me.
Yeah.
But watching it and being as an avid Second Amendment guy too, and like huge gun owner and believer in it, the right to defend yourself and your home and property. Like if you weren't pro Second Amendment before watching rioting, looting happen, like you're never gonna, and you're not now, you're never gonna be.
You'll never be.
Absolutely. But like it's a perfect example of why I think why you have to have that Second Amendment in place is the unknown. Yeah. Like boom, like that, dude. There was riots, looting, and everything.
Well, absolutely, and then we go one step further, the ludicrous talk of defunding the police. Okay, so you want on this hand to defund the police, and then you want to make more gun regulations. Okay, how does that work?
Right.
It doesn't. They want to take your protection away. They want to take your rights away. And again, I say you can debate with them all day long, and they're going to say, we're not trying to take your guns. Well, not today, but you're trying to take some of my rights away, which means next week you're going to take my guns away. So we have to fight to keep the Second Amendment alive and not compromise on it. So,
right.
There's no compromising on the Constitution. It was written by some very good people that had America's best interests in mind, and I still 100% wholeheartedly believe in it. So,
I got another question. So this is something that always is fascinated me and also annoyed me with politicians. Is you see someone come in and they're gun-ho, drain the swamp. You heard Trump say it over, drain the swamp.
Absolutely.
And so you have like all these well-meaning individuals that went to Washington or Tallahassee in your case and had the best intentions, right? And then they get there and slowly but surely mold right into the whole system, right?
Yeah.
They become part of the swamp.
Yeah.
If, using Trump's word swamp, but I've always called it the establishment.
Yeah.
So like, how would you protect yourself from that happening?
well, it all comes down to character. And I think that in the past, not just here, I think not even just statewide, I think obviously probably worldwide, you have political, corruption. It's all over the place. Yeah. I have 5 children that mean the world to me. A community of a lot of friends, a lot of people that I care about, that, character matters. And if you're ever influenced by the dollar, if you're ever influenced by, being popular or, making this a career, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So I'm not a politician for life, I can tell you right now. I don't know where this would take me, but I can tell you I'm not looking at the next step. This isn't a notch in my belt. This is a thing I'm doing for the community. It's not anything that I'm doing for my personal agenda. And you know me. I would hope that you would know that too. So I guess the main answer to that question is don't be influenced by money, don't be influenced by power or the conceived power, and do the right thing every day. Do the right thing and protect the Constitution, protect the state of Florida, and do what's right for the constituents.
You're doing this literally just to serve, which, I mean, back in the day, like everyone serving was like farmers and these all just these part-time people. They'd show up and like serve for a couple of years and go back to their farm. And now you have 30, 40. I mean, Biden's running for president. I think he's 40 or 50 years. In office. Like, you are removed from reality. At that point.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad to hear you say that, man.
Yeah. Well, and now I don't want to say every politician is in it for money, because that's not the case. I know a lot of people in office now that are genuinely good people and go fight for the right reasons. And there are politicians around here. You may not know it, but they don't get paid to do what they do. They're not on a salary, or they don't get paid. So a lot of those people do it for the right reasons. So I hate to lump all politicians in that, because there are a lot of good ones, but unfortunately you have one bad politician, it can make the whole room look bad.
Well, but it's one of those things where the longer you stay in that system, it's virtually impossible for you not to get sucked into it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? To stay out of it.
Well, and another thing you have to remember, some person gets elected, right? They go through. Now, even though they're leaving, they automatically have someone that they want to take their spot. So they're already working in support 2 years before that term's even over. So,
right.
And that happens a lot. So you have to vet, you have to do your research. You have to make sure that you're voting for the person who you think is going to, best represent you in Tallahassee. Thank you.
Do you want to touch on any of you, you mentioned water quality earlier, but what are some things you'd like to see happen for water quality?
Well, I think we've made, a huge jump in the last few years as far as progress. I think funding is always the issue, and this isn't, I'm going to go to Tallahassee and serve, 2, 4, 6, 8 years, and this is going to be solved. That's not at all. Hopefully, if I'm blessed enough to get elected, to go there, fight for the water quality, keep us on the right path to funding planning, and hand the torch off to somebody that's just as I guess, passionate about the issue, you know, because it's going to be something that you're fighting for the rest of our lives anyways, because it's not, you clean your room once doesn't mean it's not going to get dirty again. So
look at you.
Hey,
I like that.
Hey, you know.
Good analogy there, buddy. You've been working on this.
Yeah, you can use it.
All right, I will. I'll use that when they talk about credit. Hey, you have good credit once, doesn't mean it won't happen again.
There you go, man.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. When you hit the ballots, vote President Trump and Roger Lolly.
There you go. And then for anyone out there that wants to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Hit me up on Facebook. You can also email me, roger@lollyforflorida.com. I'll get back to you. Absolutely.
Cool. If they want signs or anything like that?
Absolutely. You want a sign for your yard, let me know. My kids and I will drop it off to you personally. We'll put it in the yard. We'll put it in the yard.
The Lolly family will show up.
Yep, absolutely. And Timmy will wash your car. For every single sign put in that yard, he'll probably wash your car.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. He won't do that. He won't do that. Yeah.
We were
breaking some sort of law.
We were going to edit a disclaimer under that. Okay. Tim Hart will not do that.
He cannot do that, so don't ask him to do that.
Even if I could do that, I'm not going to do that. So don't fool yourself.
Yeah.
All right, hey you guys, I hope you enjoy this. Hope it helps you out. Learn some stuff about my friend Roger. 100% support him. Great dude, I do mean that. And he'll do, there's no doubt he'll do the best you can when you get to Tallahassee.
Absolutely.
I know that for a fact. So thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Hook up with Roger if you want to vote for him and learn more about him. And thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.
Thank you. Buddy. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.